We're going to take a look at server certificate revocation, a new term that we're probably all going to be hearing about going forward, that is directly related to the recent Heartbleed vulnerability that was discovered last week. So essentially what server certificate revocation means is that not only do you change your password if a system was impacted by the Heartbleed bug, but you also have to ensure that your web browser knows that a site that was infected is in fact who they say they are. So, for example, a site like Amazon.com, which was vulnerable to Heartbleed, patched their system and then issued new browser certificates, server certificates. So, unless your web browser is checking to see if there are new certificates, you could still be susceptible to go to a site masquerading as Amazon. So, what we're going to do is look at how to make all of your settings so that you are sure that each time you go to a website, it's checking for a newly issued server certificate and is in fact going to the correct place. So in Chrome, I'm going to select Preferences, then Advanced Settings, and down below under HTTPS/SSL, I'm going to make sure that this check for server certificate revocation is checked. By default, it is not. So you want to check that. Okay, that's Chrome. Next, we're going to look at Safari. So in Safari, these settings are actually maintained at the operating system level. So I'm going to go ahead and search for keychain on my Mac, and I'm going to select keychain access. Then from the preferences, I'm going to click certificates, and I'm going to look at my settings here. What I actually want to do is select this require for all certificates. However, it's grayed out. The way that you can select it, and this is something Apple does to make sure you don't do it by accident, is hold down the Option key and then click. That will enable this require for all certificates option, which you can select. Again, it's grayed out. If I hold down the Option key and click, it is now an option. For priority, we want to make sure OCSP is the one selected. We don't need both. OCSP will be fine. So I'm going to quit there. That takes care of Safari and the Mac OS. And lastly, we're going to take a look at Firefox. So Firefox, much like Safari and the Apple OS, under Preferences, I'm going to click Advanced. I'm going to click Certs. I definitely want to make sure Ask Me Every Time is checked. And then I'm going to click Validation. And here again, I want to make sure that it is using the Online Certificate Status Protocol, OCSP, as well as if the OCSP connection fails, I want to treat it as invalid. Essentially, that means if you try to connect to a server and it can't verify who the server is, who it says it is, it won't allow you to connect to it. So make sure that's selected, click OK, and then all three of your browsers are set, combined with changing passwords of any systems that were vulnerable, like Google Apps, Facebook, Amazon.com, Instagram, and many others, will ensure you are solid in terms of the Heartbleed vulnerability. However, keep in mind that this is kind of uncharted territory for us in terms of enabling the server certificate revocation. I need to come up with a shortcut for that. And it may impact browser performance and may, in fact, make web browsing a little bit slower. So it may be something you have to turn off and on to see what works best for you. For now, I would recommend leaving it on until the dust settles on this one a little bit further. Keep in mind that on iOS devices and I believe Android, although I need to confirm, you cannot select a forceful check of server certificate revocation. So it's something you can only do on the desktop OS. iOS is not impacted by this. as nor is the Mac OS. However, Android is in certain versions that we'll post on our blog, and there is a way that you can check to see if you're impacted. And then Google and the related companies are in the process of issuing fixes for those. If you have any questions, please post them on our blog, email us, call, stop in, whatever works best for you. Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you very much.